Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing just straight blue-black tempo. This is, potentially the best deck in Legacy right now, and it's because of just cheap threats that get down there. Nethergoyf, we got 4 of those. Tamiyo, we got 4 of those. 4 Bowmasters that just completely wreck one-ring decks if they come out early enough. And once you have those out and you attack and you're not blocked, you can bring out Kaito, and Kaito is very good against control decks. So this is basically the top end of the deck, along with a single Murktide Regent. We don't really need to have a lot of land in play, so we can play our 4 Dazes, our 4 Wastelands, and what I'm really excited about here is the 4 Thoughtseize. Not only are these a sorcery type to make Nethergoyf bigger, but they are just really strong right now. Most of the decks out there, the combo decks, they don't care about your life total. The life loss is not consequential, but they have lots of counterspell-based interaction, and Thoughtseize just guarantees you're going to be able to get their best card, or they have to essentially force pitch something to be able to get it out. And sometimes you might even discover situations where you can Thoughtseize them, they force, and then you have a Daze to follow up. So we are going to just try to shred some combo players. The sideboard is also somewhat anti-combo in the sense that we have 4 Force Negation. A lot of people think that this is going overboard. I think that I want to win these matchups. I also have 4 Nile Spellbombs. These are very good against Reanimator, against Oops All spells, and of course Dredge, if you can counter that. And they're not bad against Delver. I think you bring them in the mirror. Speaking of Tempo Mirrors, this new card, Cori-Steel Cutter, which I just published a video on, is very good right now. And Hydroblast is a good anti-red card. So I'm going to have a full sideboard guide in the show notes. But essentially, these engineered explosives, these are just for Chalice matchups. You wouldn't bring them in against Delver or anything like that. And Harbinger of the Seas can come in against Beanstalk, which is still out there. I don't think it's quite as good as Tempo variants right now, just because Tempo is so good at chewing up combo, which is still a majority of the meta. But I do think it's good. This is very good if we get paired against lands, for example, or Eldrazi, which is still out there. It's not great. It's not worth playing Consign, in my humble opinion, but it is worth playing Harbinger. So that's the deck. We're going to play a full 5 rounds, as always. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against a pretty scary matchup. This is a mono black deck, and as I always say, mono black decks, or non-blue fair decks are always favored against blue fair decks, because blue fair decks are trying to fight combo in addition to being able to have game on everything else. So Douthie is very bad for us. Leyline of the Void is very bad for us because we do use our graveyard for Nethergoyf. And of course, cards like Shieldred are hard for us to stop. Opposition Agent. And our Wastelands don't really do anything. They have a few lands that can be wasted, but tons of basics here. And they have a top end that we can't necessarily stop. So if they're on this, it's going to be scary. This hand is a turn 3 Kaito. If they don't, let's see how many Fatal Pushes they play. Probably 4. They're playing Fell the Profane instead of Fatal Push. Interesting. Okay, so they do play 4 Wastelands, I presume. They don't play any Wastelands? I think I'm going to mulligan this. This is not a good enough hand. If they leyline on us, that doesn't do anything anyway. Okay, I'm going to keep this, and I'll just put back the Merc. Yeah, and we'll see whether they have a turn 1 leyline. Okay, they have the turn 1 leyline, so our Nethergoyf does nothing for the entire game, basically. Which makes me think that we should just brainstorm it away. Yeah, I'm not hallucinating. They don't play any Wastelands. So we can get an Underground Sea here. I don't want to just, we want to get a land. I think I'm going to Surveil, and then next turn I can brainstorm. Yeah, there's no point in playing out Nethergoyf. We want to get the search done before they can get Opposition Agent into play. That is not what we're looking for. We have all the land we'll likely need for the entire game here. I mean, if we find Kaito, then but that's several turns away. Okay, they don't have any turn 1 play other than to play Urborg. Bowmasters is good. Yeah, I'm just going to play a Bowmasters out this turn cycle. They have their own Bowmasters, but we do want to get on board. We can potentially daze their Bowmasters. We'll see whether they do some sort of dark ritual to get them out. They don't have a land. Okay, I'm just going to end step Bowmasters. And then they may have a dark ritual into a Bowmasters. I can daze a dark ritual. I don't like dazing dark ritual, but I want to get some damage on the board because they clearly kept a I handle the strength of this Leyline Void of the Void, which is totally fine because you don't know what we're on. We could be on anything. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and pile on and do max damage. We've been given a single card that does something here. Like literally no other attackers in our deck are relevant, I don't think, other than these Bowmasters. I think I'm just going to daze this. I can play this land out and get another Surveil trigger. They were going to play their own Bowmasters or something like that, I think. Maybe play the... that is going to stay on the top because if we can waste them off their extremely greedy keep, it'll be delectable. Take whatever you want. My hand is of little consequence. They took the Nethergoyf? Why would you take the Nethergoyf there? That makes zero sense to me. Like, Nethergoyf does nothing here. All right. We just freaking, like, they didn't know what they were up against, but they kept a shaky hand, and we were able to punish. That felt great. Okay. So I think we take out Nethergoyf completely. It just doesn't do anything in the matchup. Like, we can assume that they're going to have some sort of graveyard stuff. I'm inclined to take out Murk as well. I'm going to bring in explosives. It can blow up Moxen. What else could we bring in? Now Spellbomb. They don't use their graveyard for anything, I don't believe. Yeah, like... And actually, if they have the thing out, we don't get to even use it. And they have Karn, too. That's worth noting. I had Shieldred's Edict in some of the early versions of this deck. They do have Chrome Mox, so we could potentially blow that up. But I don't think it's worth bringing... They don't have Chalice or anything in the... Let's take a look at the sideboard. Helm, Ensnaring Bridge. Dystopia is pretty cool. I love the art on that Old Alliance card. Tithing Blade, I don't know what this does. Tithing Blade. When Tithing Blade enters the play, it's like a glitching out, but sacrifice a creature. Craft with a creature. Okay. Man, that is some sick art. I would not want to grab that blade. I would like figure out a tactical way to hold that instead of like gripping it that way. Lion's Eye Diamond, Liquid Metal Coating. Okay. So they just have like a bunch of like their Karn board mostly. And they do have the 4th Helm in the board that they can go grab. That is Force of Despair with freaking Squidward. That's some choice art. Okay. Yeah, I think the only change I'm going to make... I don't like taking these out, but I think they're pretty bad. Maybe they're better than... Like, I think we could just bring in the Force Negations. That seems weird. But like Nethergoyf is so bad that... And then maybe we bring in Murk just in case. Like somehow we get a graveyard. This is a big creature. It's hard for them to kill. No, wait. They have Fel of the Profane. They're not even playing Fatal Push. I don't know. Maybe Nethergoyf is not completely blank cardboard because he can attack and turn on. But this would just be impossible to cast. Yeah. I don't know about this sideboard. But I do know that Nethergoyf is a stinker in this matchup. Where they have 4 main deck ley lines. And yeah, this is a keep. This is a snap keep. 100%. They already mulliganed. Yeah, so we have our Bowmaster, which is our offensive, and then we just have to stall them out, basically. If they Dark Ritual, I'll let it happen. Okay, there's the ley line. So yeah, we were never going to have a successful game. Okay. So we do have to contend with the possibility of Oppo. I think we just chill, and then if they get jumpy, then we can go for it. Because we can force Oppo. What I'll probably do is if they start to like Thoughtseize us, then I'm going to crack this, and then they're going to probably go for Oppo, and then I can force the Oppo so we don't lose the land. Chrome Mox. I am totally down with you Chrome Moxing when you have 4 cards in hand. The card beneath this is Douthie. That is a daze. They went all in. And unfortunately, when you go all in against a blue deck, this happens to you. Yeah, that felt great. They have 1 card in hand. City of Traders that dies. I think I do want to go ahead and just fetch my Surveil land now, just so I don't have to worry about Oppo. I'm not going to do anything with the cards in my hand. Yeah, I'm just going to do this around Oppo. That is not what we need. All right, we have double force up. We have Bowmasters to start punishing our opponent for their hubris. That's going to be a force. I will force pitching this Brainstorm. Yeah. And of course, we kept the Force of Will that can stop creatures as well. And now I can just bounce this out of play. They can replay it. I can bounce this out. They lose a Mana Source. That might be the play. I'm just going to take it slow. I'm going to go ahead and fetch. Again, just respecting opposition agent. We'll just pass. This turn, we're going to Orcish Bowmaster. They haven't done any damage to themselves. Unfortunately, they got City of Traders instead of Ancient Tomb, so we haven't been able to do any damage. I don't think we take the Leyline out yet. It doesn't really help us that much. Sudden Edict. That doesn't matter. I will sacrifice that. If I draw another blue card, I'll probably just play this Brazen Borrower out as a beater. Wasteland seems pretty good. I'm going to hit that. If I bounce this back to hand, they have one mana source, but then I'm off of what we do here. I think it's worth going ahead and bouncing it back just to stall them. I don't know what I fear out of a one-card hand with one land. I can play this out of exile next turn. They do have the black. Okay, they don't have a threat here. They could have a Bowmaster. They may be holding it to deal with this. This is an opportunity where we can go ahead and just... but there's no real reason to get this out of my hand. I'm just going to play this out and I'll attack. And then we have instep this. Yeah, I'm just going to have to hope that they don't draw another Helm before we can kill them. It's going to take a while. Felmire. They are shocking it in. Interesting. They must have Oppo is what I'm thinking. That's the main 3-drop in their deck. They may be worried about Daze and they're just going to Bowmaster. Okay, now we have whatever they have answered. Do I even care about this enough to force it? I think what I want to do, high likelihood we hit a force here. Or a blue card. And if it's a blue card we don't care about, like a force negation or something like that, I'm going to be happy that I did this. I don't like throwing away our only material because we can just play this out and eventually cast force. Hard cast it. Okay, yeah, this is fine. I'll just pitch for. Do I want to force pitch force? No, I'm going to put these cards back. No, I want to play this out. I'll shuffle away the swamp. And I will shuffle away this Tamiyo. I think we're on the damage train here. And then we're going to force pitching this Brainstorm. So there's a turn where we're vulnerable a little bit. We're not that vulnerable actually, but I wanted to make my land drop here. If they just have another one, it's pretty bad. We have Tamiyo on top. I think I'm just going to go ahead and fetch now. Yeah, I didn't really want a Tamiyo. Its main utility was that it was a blue card. Okay, now they have the mana, but their hand is Mox. So we need to find a blue card or a land right now. That's not what we want. They could play the Helm, or they could play a Karn and go get the Helm. Yeah, very scary. They have no selection in their deck. It's unlikely that they find it, but if they do find it, we lose, even though we've played really tight, in my humble opinion. Okay, so now the only thing that we can do to win is draw either a Kaito or our other Brazen Borrower. Otherwise, we're just dead. It's so sad that I said that was exactly how we lose. They have 3 of them in the deck. We dealt with one of them. Yeah, I'm not missing anything. That's how they were dead. Okay. All right. Game 3. I felt like we were just completely dominant that game. Had I kept the Tamiyo just as a stinky blue card that I wasn't going to use, that would have covered that one contingency. I think it was probably a punt to play out the land. I just wanted more card quality, but I should have realized their outs were so thin. Yeah, so I definitely punted that game. Okay, so I'm not going to bring in the Nethergoyfs. I'm not going to bring it back in. I'm still stunned that they took my Nethergoyf. We did have 3 outs there to draw. We weren't completely dead, but we didn't draw it. We drew a land. I don't regret bouncing the Mox also because they would have just replayed the Leyline before they played the Karn. It would have not bought it. It would have bought us maybe less time actually than what we did have because they had to wait till they had a land. I think this is a snap keep. There's the Leyline. They always have it. I think they aggressively mull to it if they don't have it. I'm just going to go ahead and get my Underground Sea here just so I can ensure that I have days up. And now we don't have the 4 mana Fatal Push, but we can always, waste something. We can waste our own waste if we need to kill a Shieldred here, but that shouldn't happen. Now we have to ask, is it worth letting this resolve? Because it does tell our opponent, they can play around the days. I think I'm going to go ahead and Brainstorm. I'll Brainstorm first. Okay, so what we could do is we could just stack it to where these Bowmasters are on top and they can't take them. They can take something else. Borrower's pretty good too. Yeah, I think we just daze this. We don't have a way to shuffle any of this back. The main problem with dazing this is we don't have a daze for later. We could hide the daze and then, yeah, I think I just want to daze this. No, let's think about this. They take the damage. We keep the daze for the next turn. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide a Bowmaster and a daze. I'll put the daze on top. Okay, I'll let this go off. I imagine they're going to take my Bowmaster, but they may take my Fatal Push. If they take the Borrower, that's fine too. Okay, they did take the Borrower. All right. So now we're going to be ready when they go for like a bigger spell next turn. Just pass. They know Bowmasters is coming, but there's no merit in playing it out right now. So what I'd like to do is daze their Bowmaster when they Bowmaster me back, which they may try to do. So we got 2 damage off that Thoughtseize. That was another consideration, is like I'm trying to aggro them and I don't really have that many good ways to aggro them. Okay, I think if they had a Bowmaster, they would have used it by now. All right, so I think the most likely thing they have here is Shieldred's Edict. Or, I'm sorry, Oppo Agent. So I'll just daze that. But that does mean that I'm vulnerable to... Okay, they don't have it. I'm just going to chill with double Fatal Push. Like, let's say hypothetically they do Shieldred. I can just clear her. So because I want to keep this daze, so I am going to waste my own waste just to turn on Revolt. This way, I mean, it may sound crazy keeping the daze around, but they don't know about the daze. Thoughtseize. I'm going to Thoughtseize them first. Okay. They do have the Helm. So I'm not crazy for keeping that around. All right, Fell the Profane is extremely expensive. We can just daze that instead. I don't want to deal with this Helm. Let's go in for a hug. They are going to basically have to Fell the Profane my Orc Army token here to, like, if they want to have a few more turns. I think that's a daze. Okay, they can't shock that in. All right. They're just playing it out as a land. If I find... Okay, so that was what they drew for turn. I think I'm just going to wait and see what I draw before I brainstorm. But I do want to see if I can find, like, land Bowmaster. That would be great. Brainstorm. I'm going to play this out first. Wasteland would be another option, of course. Okay, Force Negation, I think, locks it up. I can just put these lands back. I don't need them. They're going to go to 1 here. So even if they find another Helm, I think they won't be able to stop the Force Negation here. If I daze this, I could potentially die. I just need to be patient. I'll just hit them for 2 here. I am going to go ahead and shuffle these. I don't want to like be locked out of that. I'll just get the Sewer here. Don't want Tommy. Sorry, Tommy. Not right now. You're good enough when we're early game. So they may have a blocker here. If I just find... I mean, it's pretty terrifying if they have Bowmaster here. I think I have to ponder and then I can push the Bowmaster and I don't lose both my Bowmasters. If I find another Bowmaster, the game's over. They don't seem to have a Bowmaster. I think we shuffle these. That's an unfortunate rip. It does give us hardcast, Force Negation, and Daze. They have like 2 things they're going to do here. But if they have I think if they had the Bowmaster, they would have used it. Sudden Edict. Can't stop that. They're going to get an extra turn. I know that, yeah, this is an opposition agent, which I don't have Revolt currently, do I? I don't. I guess I have to daze this. And then I still have Hardcast Force Negation up in case they have the Helm. Yeah. All right. Nerve-wracking. They just play a creature they can block, or if they find a Bowmasters, it's catastrophic. Let's see what we find on the top. Kaito. That's a great card. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and play this now and see what's on top. Ponder. Put it in the graveyard. Okay, we're going to see if they block here. If they don't block, we're like really good. They have another one. Gosh, I can't kill it. I don't have Revolt. There was no window for me to kill it here. We just have to accept that they're going to stabilize. We can play the Kaito and we can stun an attack, but it's a 2-turn line. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it in play. I leave it in play because I need to be able to Force Negation, and I don't want to pitch Kaito to Force Negation something. Okay, that's fine. Now we need to draw a blue card so we can safely cast Kaito. We drew even better than that. I'm just going to chill with the ability to end step this with Force Negation. So they're like super dead unless they have yet another blocker here. That's fine. I'm going to let them attack me and then I'll surprise them with Orcish Bowmasters here. If they only attack with one, that's fine too. They could fell the Profane. But, okay, they're opting not to attack at all. Unfortunately, I do have to counter this. It's too good. It'll go get the help. They have one card in hand. All right, so we can just replay the previous turn, but now we don't have protection anymore. I can Thoughtseize their best card. I think that's fine. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'll just take whatever their last card is. I don't like doing this, but it's sudden 80. Okay, I'm glad I took that. That was worth taking. Okay, and so now we just wait and hope they don't rip the nuts. Sorry for the visual there. Okay, they're coming in. Good games. Good games. Good freaking games. My goodness. They had Leyline every single game, and I think we played tight, and we got through it. There was that one punt that did cost us that game, I believe. I'm struggling to even remember it. My memory's a blur. That game was so long. So many decisions. We're ending the game on turn 10, which is an eternity in Legacy, but I had a great time. See you in round 2. All right. Round 2, we're up against a likely Delver player, like they were playing it like yesterday. Did really well with it. Let's mulligan this no-lander, functional no-lander. This is a keep. So I'll just put that the Murk. That's the slowest card in our hand. Nethergoyf does quickly get big enough that it can't really easily be killed. Okay, they get the slow start. We like that. I'm fine with them bolting my Goyf. I don't want to expose this yet. Maybe it is correct to go ahead and play it out. They may not have the Wasteland. When you have double days, I feel like you have to be bold. We'll happily daze basically anything they put on the stack here, including a daze from their own end. I want to get this in play. Actually, dazing their days would be incredible here because it buffed my Goyf. They are just playing straight rug as of yesterday. 12th place in a challenge. Very nice. That sucks. But that does happen. And now if they have the bolts, okay. They're just taking the slow route. We have lots of mana. We do have a swamp we can play. We just don't have days on right now. We'll definitely fetch. As soon as we get a fetch, we're going to get fetch an island for sure. All right, that's a good draw. It's not an exceptional draw, but it's not a bad draw. And Nethergoyf does come back late game. And it looks like this might be one of the rare, tempo on tempo games that does have a late game because they've just pondered and done almost nothing. We have Fatal Push for the next 2 threats. I can't do anything about that, but I'll bring him back later. He's designed to be brought back. Like I do that a lot. This is fine. I'm going to be mana efficient. I'm just going to push. If they counter it, it's okay. Because I do, like I know I could have drawn like a land or something, but like it sucks. Yeah, we're just chilling. We're not necessarily dead though. They don't have a threat on the table, and they don't apparently have a daze because I probably would have dazed that if I were them. The bubble, they have achieved delirium. I would love to push DRC. There's the Merc that we can't deal with. I think the game is over, unfortunately. Yeah, they had the Merc hand. They had the waste for our awkward, non-fetch hand. We have 8 fetches. We only have, 4 Underground Seas in our deck. So we definitely, based on the knowledge, would have just fetched the basic and not exposed ourselves had we gotten that. But I don't like mulliganing aggressively against Delver because you trade a lot of resources back and forth. So if we find a blue source, we could bounce this back and buy ourselves some time. It'd be particularly good because we could fight over it with a daze. So this is really like, maybe we have like 2 turns to find it, but once you've taken a lot of damage, things go really far south for you, in my experience. Hopefully they daze this. This doesn't matter. Okay, they don't. So at least we're cracking back, but not feeling good. We're taking 6. Another Wasteland. So it has to be a fetch, not an Underground Sea. That's unfortunate. I'm going to attack. We've got very few turns. Precious little life. So we've seen 11 cards. We've only seen 2 lands. That is aberrational, but it's not like exceptionally bad. It's probably like within 1 or 2 standard deviations. Thoughtseize, no way in heck that I'm casting that. We'll be dead. So we're just coming in. All right, and now we're just dead to bolt. Like, we don't have any life gain in our deck. So the rest of the game, we're dead to bolt. Okay, yeah, they have it. All right. Getting Delvered. Yeah, Delver on the draw is rough. I think Delver is favored in this matchup, although I think Blue-Black Tempo is favored in like pretty much every other matchup. Like, it's the better of the Tempo decks to play. So we're going to bring on our Spellbombs. We're going to bring on our Hydroblasts. We're going to take out our Forces. We're going to take out our Thoughtseizes. I'm not taking out Daze. I do think that we can go toe-to-toe and, win a Wasteland War with them. Our deck is slightly more mana hungry, but only slightly. And on the play, or on the draw, I will probably take out one of the Dazes. I mean, this is a Tamiyo into Kaito hand. I'm 100% here for this. Yeah, we're going to press our advantage here. We're not going to wait around and try to find like some flip thing. Our goal is just to get Kaito on the table. And he can be blasted. This, Tamiyo can be blasted. She can be bolted. She can be killed so many ways. But she has to be killed, and it's a 1-1. A 1-for-1 when she dies. That's okay. Now we're going to waste that, and we're going to hope to do to them what they did to us last game. And maybe this does nothing, but I am going to live in that world. Now we have Hydroblast for DRC. They could counter that. They waste us. We've got 3 lands. We're fine. Ponder. Okay. So that did affect them. They're shaken. Maybe that was... they did not shuffle, so they probably found a second land. Okay, so we're just buying ourselves some time here. But we don't have anything else going on. I think that Wasteland was totally fine. Second Hydroblast. I don't think there's any harm in just building these out. I don't expect like Blood Moon effects out of Delver. They've probably played this matchup like tons of times. So I'm expecting them to behave pretty similar to like how other Delver decks would play, which would be, you don't bring in Price of Progress. You don't like... Maybe they could do that sort of stuff. There is benefit to just being quirky and doing irrational stuff. Okay, there's the Volk. There's the DRC, which I'm going to blast on the stack so they don't get any value from it in case they have a Bobble in hand. Okay, and now I'm definitely looking for a creature or a Bobble or Spellbomb. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah. Okay, this is great. I'm just going to go ahead and Spellbomb now because it's free to do. And at this point, Murk would be big enough. We still have... Oh, that's good. Yeah. So next turn, what we can do is we can, Bowmaster, and then one of these can get Kaito on the table, and I think we'll be okay. They really need their graveyard, like probably more than we do. Cori. Let's go ahead and blast that just in case they have the Bobble. So they weren't on Cori before, so I think they're on like straight blue-red. If they have a Daze, it's okay. That Daze happens before Cori hits the table. So they don't get to... So Cori doesn't see it. So now they Bobble and it doesn't matter. They don't get the trigger. Okay. I'm going to Bowmaster that main phase. Another Spellbomb. Not bad. All right. We definitely have the advantage here. We go ahead and play this out. There's some merit to hitting their yard, but I don't think it's right now. We'll wait. We can do it in step after they've put some cards in their yard. I could keep this alive. Gosh, if they have an attacker with Cori, it's pretty bad. I want to nuke their graveyard though. Okay, there's their second spell. I'm just going to let it happen and I'm going to wipe their graveyard after this. If they're smart, they'll keep this back out of respect for Kaito, but they may just start pressing damage, which is also fine. Like, I wouldn't blame them for doing that. I think that's totally fine. We are going to wipe a lot of cards out of their graveyard here though. Okay, this is great. So now we can just Kaito stun that. They may have enough cards to be able to trigger it again next turn. Nethergoyf's great because Nethergoyf can be a blocker for Kaito. Nethergoyf is huge. Cori could potentially access Kaito, but maybe we just want to draw now. So they can Hydro Kaito. So I do want to get I want to Surveil so I can get a value for that. I should have played out the Nethergoyf first, actually, because they could have a Daze in their hand. That would be very embarrassing if Nethergoyf got dazed. Now we do it. Let's try this. And again, I'm going to be extremely embarrassed if this gets dazed because it was totally preventable. Okay. And now I'm just going to go ahead and get value. All right. And I don't think either of these cards are important. I will play this land out because it represents the Surveil trigger. And we'll pass. So they could potentially try to kill, they could somehow get this out of the way, and then they could attack and kill. But they're going to need like a lot of stuff. They've got 3 cards. I'm okay if they kill Kaito. It's like a lot of investment. Okay, now they're going to have a second creature. Bobble. All right. So this triggers both the Coris, so they get 2 creatures with prowess and haste. Yeah, so now actually I'm going to lose my Kaito, unfortunately. It's a good card. Don't let anybody tell you that this is not a really good card. All right. So they should all be attacking Kaito, I imagine. So there's no benefit in block. Well, I should block anyway. They may have a bolt. I want to live in that world. I'm just going to get one of the ones that's already equipped because Kaito's dead either way. It's a 5/6 now. That's pretty damn good. We can potentially race him. I'm going to surveil. That's pretty good. I'm going to keep that. All right. So I think we just hold this Bowmasters and this Brazen Borrower. We just come in for a hug. If they have 2 spells to cast this turn, they could, in theory, like get that out there. We're at 17 life, though. I think the onus is on them. There's a high likelihood that one of the spells they have is to trigger this is like a cantrip. We can even Bowmaster with that trigger on the stack. This is a perfect target for Bowmaster. So I'm going to wait until they have done something. Okay. So they put all their triggers on the stack. So I'm going to go ahead and just ping this. Bye. Okay. And now they get their surveil trigger. Those have already triggered. There's no benefit to bouncing it out. I'll bounce out one of the creatures. Now that bobble is going to be awkward to crack. We are looking at 8 potential damage, but they're looking at dead. If they tap out, yeah, they just scoop. Wow, that felt great. It's a cool matchup. Like, this is definitely harder to beat than traditional Delver. Traditional Delver is way easier. So I think on the draw, I'm going to bring in a force at the expense of a daze. Yeah, I think that's probably enough. I don't need too many dazes or too many forces. We still care about card advantage. But I will say Kaito was really good there, even though we got killed, because, oh man, I think this is a keep because we have Tamio, we can protect her. We just hope they have a slow start. Okay, they lost connection. We'll wait for them to come back. All right, Delver's in. I think I'm just going to island Tamio here. If they daze this, is okay. We don't have anything going on. I'm just playing this out as a potential distraction. If they don't flip Delver, this can keep Delver from connecting. Murk is not completely unwelcome. 40% chance they flip, probably lower, like 30%, 35 maybe, because of the sheer volume of non-instant sorceries they're playing now with all the baubles and stuff. I'm actually surprised this is in their deck. It's probably just like a 1 of or a 2 of. We just need to get lucky and find a freaking land, and then we can Bowmaster with double daze protection. That would be so sweet. Do I want to protect her? She blocks. I think it's worth it. We don't necessarily have a land drop next turn. Most likely I'm just going to play a land and cantrip. If they daze back, that's fine. Okay. These is reasonable exchanges. They mulliganed and they're on the play. So they're down to 3 cards. I've got 6 cards in my hand. Hydroblast is good. I'm going to ponder here. Just looking for land. Come on, deck. Don't do this to me. My goodness. I'm tempted to take that ponder, but no, we're going to shuffle this. Okay. And we're rewarded for our discipline. Next turn, we do have Bowmaster if this doesn't flip. But it's probably going to flip. It doesn't flip. Okay. So we have daze protected. Bowmasters next turn to ping this. But that, is contingent on them using all their mana for something. And not presenting us with something that needs to be dazed. If they play Cori, I probably will daze it just because it's so good. Oh, well, that's going to get dazed. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that if I can avoid it. It's going to be tragic if they have another daze here. Okay, thank goodness. All right, now there's Wasteland. We're just going to go ahead and chill. We have Hydroblast up, and we just hope this doesn't flip. But even if it flips, we do have a Murk coming. And I do think I'm going to play out that Murk. It doesn't flip. We're getting lucky, but again, part of this is their deck construction. I'm going to blast that before they get any value from it. I know that I can Bowmaster it next turn, but yeah, they would have gotten value. And you just don't let your opponent get value. All right. They're coming in. They're going to get a second card. They could get a daze. I'm going to just go for this Bowmaster. I know that Murk is strong too, but I think Bowmaster in this point, like removing one of their threats is going to be more powerful. I'm just going to hope they don't have a daze. Good game. Whoa. Yes, that felt great. I think we made good decisions there. I think that keep was solid, even though it was a one-lander. I think it was critical that we fetched the island. We didn't see the Wasteland, but they could have had it in hand. They did have a card, or 2 cards in hand, rather. We got lucky that they didn't have daze. They did daze one of our things, right? Yeah, they did daze. And just letting her go and just being patient and disciplined. I'm going to say it again. I don't believe Delver belongs in the Cori deck. Take a look at my video that I recorded. I had a blast playing that deck, and at no point was I like, oh, I wish I had Delver in here. In addition to, all these red beats and direct damage and stuff. Anyway, we're 2-0 going into round 3. All right, round 2. We're up against a likely Grixis Control player. He kind of announced that he that he was with Teddy, who is James Kisao at Eternal Weekend. So I'm going to assume he's on that. I think this hand is great against Grixis Control. We just want to get Tamio out and Protector and pull ahead on cards. Force is not like great, but being able to Thoughtseize early on. I don't think they play Daze. I don't really want to play against this card. I think if there's any card that is worth forcing, it's probably this. Just because this is going to generate so much value over the course of the game. If he's playing Daze, then I'll feel like a fool. I'm going to assume that Daze is actually not going to be even that great in this matchup. Yeah, I'll just pitch the Daze. Because the way that... Okay, they're forcing back, so they agree. All right, they really wanted this Tommy in. So we're going to play our own Tommy, and we're going to hope they don't have their bolts. Yeah, I think playing Tommy is correct here. Just to push forward. Because if they are creating clues and I'm not, that's bad. This game is going to go long. We might be able to tempo them out a little bit with Nethergoyf. They are weak to Nethergoyf because they use bolts as their main removal. Just in case they have like some sort of like crazy dark ritual thing, I will block this because I do know Kaito is in their deck. Again, I'm not sure that that's what they're on. They could be on what I'm on. That's fine. Please, by all means, Thoughtseize me. You can put that Nethergoyf in the yard. I will bring it back later. Okay. So they Thoughtseize for Thoughtseize, which means they probably have like Kaito or something worth defending in there, which is scary. I think we go ahead and attack and we brainstorm. If they have Kaito, I think it's like a one of in their list. I'm not going to look at their list. I'm just going to presume. Because James Kisao is always kind of fine-tuning his list. I would like to put back this Undercity Sewer. Worst case scenario, I can just bin the Nethergoyf for later. Okay. This works out fine. I don't want the Force of Will. It's just not that good in this matchup. I will take the cantrips. They do have a lot of Bowmasters, but we're going to hope to play around those. So I'm going to put back a Brainstorm and Force of Will, and then I will Undercity Sewers to clear the Force of Will. And it's entirely possible they have like some sort of effect that can clear this. But I don't want to go down on cards in this matchup. This matchup is all about having lots of cards, in my opinion. They're playing very judiciously, expeditiously. I'm not sure what quickly, expediently. So whereas I'm like stopping to think a little bit more, and that may come, this could come down to time. All right, they don't have Kaito yet. That's great. That's what I fear the most is Kaito coming down. Like I can't deal with Kaito at this point. I will be able to deal with him soon with Brazen Borrower up. They could be on straight blue-black. No, there we go. This could be like a Bowmasters. Baleful Strix, that's a good card. That's very good against us. Now we need to find our Bowmasters. We're drawing. I'm not going to try to remember. It's a cantrip, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so I think this is a good opportunity to go ahead and play Brainstorm around. Cantrip and just see what we draw. And then I can shuffle away bad stuff with the Ponder. But I'm looking for Bowmasters exactly. Okay, there we go. We don't have a land to go with it, unfortunately, tragically. I think what we do is we hide it in case they Thoughtseize us, and we just drop this Goyf, and we start plussing Tommy. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about hiding the Brazen Borrower too, because if they get like Kaito or Nethergoyf or something, this is like one of the few things we can interact with. They probably don't have Nethergoyf. I mean Barrowgoyf. Okay, so I'm going to hide the Bowmasters, and I'll hide the Borrower. Wait, actually, I think I want to... No, I want to play out the Nethergoyf. Do I want to play it out? It doesn't really change anything. You know, I'm thinking about just shuffling it away. Is that right? I do want to get land for sure. That is what I know with confidence. I think what I'll do is I'll shuffle away some of these brainstorms, which are risky in this environment. I guess I could put back the Brazen Borrower. It's not the best. It doesn't do really anything against their deck. It can flip the Tommy out of play, but I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to ponder. We're going to get like all the cantrips out of our hand here. Try to find a land. There is no land, but that Bowmaster is juicy. They don't have Wasteland. I think it would be foolish to like let that Bowmaster go. So I'll just draw the Brainstorm here. I'm going to plus. Next turn, we will Bowmaster. But yeah, that is kind of a disaster in the sense that we cast 2 cantrips and we didn't find a land. But I'm not going to put back a Bowmaster at this point. It's just so good. It hits their... It's probably going to buy a Force of Will if they have one. And it cuts them off really cashing in Tamiyo like they would like to. Okay. Unfortunately, we are going to get Kaito'd here. I think, like, maybe? Maybe not. Okay, we didn't get Kaito'd. Okay. Please play a Bowmaster. Is this what is this? Double blue? Snap for a Thoughtseize? Okay, that's unfortunate for us, but it doesn't change the fact that we're about to Tamiyo ultimate. Okay. So they're going to take our Bowmaster, but we have another Bowmaster on top. So now we're going to plus Tommy again, and we're just going to Bowmaster him. And I'm just going to main phase it. I want to get rid of this Baleful Strix. Now their cantrips are awkward. We have double blockers, so we can definitely Tommy here if they don't have a way to remove it. They need like some combination of interaction to get through it, or they need their own Bowmasters. Their own Bowmasters would actually be terrifying. Okay, I think they have their Bowmasters, otherwise they probably wouldn't still be playing. We do have Brazen Borrower. I'm going to go for it because we can borrow their Bowmasters out of play and they can't replay it. Okay, so this comes in. They can ping our Bowmasters. They do. Now we will blue. If this fails, we just lose the game that we easily were winning. They have a force. We get it. I think we won. I can't imagine them winning from here. Okay, we will keep playing though, since they haven't conceded. And I think I'm just going to start stamping out Nethergoyfs. Yeah, I don't really care. They can Bowmaster me. I don't care what happens from here on out. I'll force their Bowmaster. Do I want to force this? I can just daze this. We have 2 forces in hand. One for the Bowmasters, one for whatever else they do. We can do a giant Murk. We can force protect a Murk, and that'll close the game really quickly. I respect their desire to try to fight through this, but I think it's an extremely lost cause. I'll pitch a Tommy here. Yeah, we win. Okay. That was... I'm proud of that. I'm proud of being able to beat their deck, because their deck is definitely like the bigger version. Like, they're worse against combo, but they're better against fair decks like us. We could bring in the now Spellbomb. They do use their graveyard. I'm going to pull up their list. Like, they're one of their more recent lists. Okay, so if Adam, the super chill human being who I met up with at Eternal Weekend, if he is on, let's see, if he's on this exact list, yeah, I think we're unfavored, but we're not dramatically unfavored. Cling to Dust is good against us. That does use their graveyard. They have a single Murktide that uses their graveyard. They Snapcaster. I think it's worth bringing these in. Maybe just 2 of them. The forces are really bad here, but force is really important. If we draw, like, how many basics are they playing? They're playing 1, 2 swamps, 1 mountain. I think it's quite likely that we are not able to. They said, good job hiding the Brazen. Yeah. And I hid the Bowmaster and the Brazen. Those were both things that I wanted to hide from them. And yeah, it turned out perfectly for me. So I think two Spellbombs can come in. We take out 2 forces. I think Daze might play a role. But on the draw, actually, I'm going to pull out the Dazes. I think they're either there or they aren't. They were useful. I think we dazed like 2 things that game. Engineered Explosives. How many 1-drops do they have? They really just have the Tamiyo, and we shouldn't play around that. We should just accept that they're occasionally going to draw Tamiyo. I'm a big believer in just playing a single Tamiyo, by the way. I think we just maybe take out all the dazes and take out one of the forces. And we just try to like out-quality them. We could take out wastelands, but those are occasionally useful. They don't go for any of our land. Maybe I do take out a wasteland. And then I bring back in a force. Because force is pretty important. Like for stopping Bowmasters and stuff like that. It's card disadvantage, but if you Tamiyo Ultimate, you need those forces. Okay, so this hand is great. This is precisely the kind of hand we want to keep against them. It's got basics, because they could bring in Blood Moon. Are they not playing Blood Moon recently? Yeah, maybe there's no reason to fear non-basic stuff. Tommy's back. She's very strong. Our opponent likely has a lot of Pyroblasts. I think it's fine to go ahead and get an island just in case they're on Blood Moon. This at least trades 1 for 1, and we don't have anything else to do this turn. I'm not going to like hold up Hydroblast in hopes that they cast a red spell. They are a 3-color deck. My opponent said, a tale as old as game 1. Yes, that's pretty much exactly what happened game 1. They got their Tommy first. So this version of blue-black is way weaker against them than the other versions. The bug version that I was playing. And even like the bigger control versions that I played that are like 3 dazes and 3 Thoughtseize and stuff like that. Our deck is built to slaughter combo, and it makes concessions to fair decks in doing so. So we're going to have to like rely on skill and luck because we are structurally disadvantaged here. Okay. I think the opportunity to rip something good out of their hand is worth it. I'm going to go ahead and attack first, and then, I at least have some interaction here. I want to go ahead and Thoughtseize them, and I'm hoping to pull, like they may brainstorm in response or something like that, which is fine. I'll get a swamp just out of respect for Blood Moon. We have plenty of lands, but I don't want to get Blood Moon where I don't have black. That would be catastrophic. So they may just bolt here, and if they do, I'll Hydroblast that to keep Tommy around. I generally... Oh, yeah. We're definitely taking this Bowmaster. Bowmasters... Yeah, we don't want that. Okay, they have Cling to Dust and Fatal Push. So I think Tommy's probably dead to Fatal Push here, and we're just going to have to let it happen. She's a 2 for 1. Oh, they're clinging instead. Okay, that's fine. They get to draw a card. Okay, so they still have Fatal Push. I dismissed it because I was just presumptive. If they drew Kaito here, we're super duper screwed. But they only have Kaito as a 1-of. So I think we can just flip her here. It is risky because... Yeah, I'm going to play this out, and then if they... We'll see what they do here. If they kill her, I just have a backup Tommy. We can keep 2 of these and shuffle the 3rd one away if we'd like. If they have a Bowmaster here, it's fine. I have my own Bowmaster for that. So their hand is Snapcaster, 3 unknown. Plus, clues. Force... I don't want these lands. Force is essentially a 2 for 1 on Snap because Snap is going to come and ponder. So I think that's fine. And we have a Tommy we can pitch to it. So the question is, do we want to just flip her? And I think the answer is yes. So we are going to actually draw all those cards. We'll draw a second Force here. They can Fatal Push here. I think do I let this happen? Because I could just play another one next turn. But I think a flip Tommy with what's in their hand is quite good. Yeah, I think I'm going to force the defender. Come to the aid of my lady. I'd rather have a flip Tommy here than just like... So we get a force 2. So now we have force for their snap. She flips. We're going to plus her. And we're just going to try to defend her from different things they may throw our way. They're going to fetch. They're going to flip. But now that we've flipped her, we're ahead on the Tommy race. Yeah, and it's going to suck because we're tapped out and we're going to give up a lot of material to defend her here, but I do feel like riding this Tommy train. It's fine. Again, like we're just forcing to protect the queen here. And it's awkward forcing when they have red up anyway. We're going to hope that they're going to try to flip theirs. And then we have a Bowmaster they do not, to our knowledge. If they have Tommy here, it's pretty brutal because they can knock 3 loyalty off her. Or I'm sorry, not Tommy, they don't have good mana for snap. I'm going to force this and just hope. They can't snap here. But they could have a second Pyro, and that would just be a blowout. We get like literally 0 value for her. So now we have to worry about Snapcaster next turn on Pyro. We're drawing a land, which is not spectacular. They're cracking a clue. They flip her. It's fine. They plus her. Oh my goodness. Are we going to have to minus Hamio here? I think we probably do because that all happened in the end step, I guess. So they didn't get the plus her, which is nice for us. Okay. So I think what I want to do here first, if we minus, we can get a ponder. We could crack the clue, see what we get first. Gosh, what could we get? We could get a hydro. We already used a hydro. How many hydros have we pitched? Just one. We get Thoughtseize. That's great. I'm going to go ahead and do this. We're drawing an unknown card. Draw trigger. Fatal Push doesn't do anything here. I think we have to minus and just get back a ponder just so we get some value. And they could... I don't want them to Fatal Push my Orc, so I'm just going to play out my land and pass. We have a Surveil option. But like, what are the odds we're going to actually do that instead of play? I'm going to cast the second Bowmaster. If they Bowmaster this, I will, Bowmaster the Bowmaster. But I'm pretty sure the Snapcaster is going to be huge here. They have exactly 1 blue mana, which is what they need to cast the Snapcaster. So I think they're probably just going to go ahead and get rid of her. They're opting not to. I'm going to Surveil. This is like high level Magic. Like, yeah, that's fine. This is like, in my opinion, the hardest Magic to play. It's like tempo versus control because you're kind of you're the underdog. But it's like either side of this is really hard, but I think it's even harder for us. Hydroblast is great. I'm going to go ahead and start with a ponder. Looking for Kaito probably. Brazen Borrower answers Tommy. I think we just borrow. We could land, borrow. These other cards are fine. The Fatal Push will likely come up. It's not great. And I do want to go ahead and bounce Tommy out now so we don't have to worry about her. We can like Fatal Push her next time. If they Pyro, they do have the mana to flashback Pyro. And then I have to use my Hydro on that. So I'm giving them like a live thing. I think I'll wait until they've cast the Snapcaster because I think they're probably going to try to go north. That's what I would do. And maybe we can get an opportunity to get in. This is definitely the thinking person's game. Like when I tell, people that like Magic is like chess, this is what I'm talking about. Like there's just, okay, they went north, which is great for us. So they didn't get any value. All right. And I'm going to be efficient with my mana here. Okay. I think we have to let this happen because Snapcaster's still in their hand and I can't stop it. So what I'm planning to do is I borrow, they Snapcaster, they get Pyro, then we Hydro the Pyro, and we hope that that's all they have. If they have more, we're kind of screwed. We do have Bowmasters, but that's harder to protect because they can just kill that with their own Bowmasters. So I think this is Snapcaster. Wait, they tapped out a blue. That's huge. So now they have to have Pyro from hand. Oh, that's so good. All right, do we want to go ahead and just Bowmaster to get on the table? I don't think we do. I'm just going to be patient. I want to see if I can get them to play their Bowmaster out. All right. Now we can hit their graveyard and we can Kaito next turn. This seems exceptional. I will put both Fatal Pushes on top. Go ahead and do this now, I think. While they can't do anything about it, they're going to lose so much goodness from their graveyard and it's going to feel so great for me. I'll just canter right through there. Bye-bye graveyard. Nice Snapcaster you got there. Pity, nothing to do with it. If they attempt a clue, I will go ahead and press the Bowmaster. There's the Fatal Push. I can take care of Bowmaster now if they activate the clue in the end step. Or I can take care of an opposing Bowmaster and I will have a creature to get Kaito in. So this draws them a card, right? Okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just do this. And so they are going to get to crack the clue. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just do it now. I mean, like, they may not crack that clue. They may be very judicious with it, which is fine. So we are going to get one trigger guaranteed here. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about this because I'm tapped out. But we do get that Orc that can attack and enable Kaito next turn. But, like, obviously that bolt is pretty good for them. And now they have something a little bit better. They're island cycling in step, so they will get their second land. They can flash back the bolt to clear our Orc army. They can flash back the bolt to hit Kaito. So we're going to have to plus Kaito now. Yeah, this is fine. I hope they don't aggressively try to flip her. We have double Thoughtseize on top, or double Fatal Push. So I think we probably do want to go ahead and just Fatal Push here. We'll Fatal Push first, and then if they try to flip her, I'll Fatal Push again. All right, now we can go in for a hug. They saw us tapping, so they're like, oh, I got to clear that. No, you don't have time. All right, Kaito's in. He's hitting him in the face. I am going to go ahead and surveil here. Nimble Obstructionist. That does stop the triggered ability. So our creature goes away. Kaito remains in our hand. That is a good use of Nimble Obstructionist. That's the first appearance of Nimble Obstructionist on the channel, I believe. The Be Excellent channel. And it did something. Let it be known that it's not just like a do nothing, like flavorful card that you put in your deck to like handicap yourself. Although that is certainly what it seems like to me. It does occasionally do stuff. So what we can do is we can put this out. It's almost certainly going to get Bowmastered here. They had so many looks at Bowmaster. They certainly have 4 Bowmasters in their deck. I don't think playing Kaito out where he can be countered is correct. I think we have to just chill. We're at 11 minutes to their 14. This is good for them. This makes it harder for us to Kaito. I feel very far behind. We basically need to start drawing Bowmasters. Several consecutive Bowmasters. I'm going to let them do this. They're going to take our Kaito, most likely. Yep. They've filled up their graveyard. Their Snapcaster is good again. They draw with a clue when we don't have a Bowmasters. Yeah, I feel like this game is very quickly slipping away, and I can't point my finger to any particular thing that happened in this game that caused us to lose it, but I do feel that the game is lost. I'm going to keep playing. I think what happened is we just couldn't successfully close the game before they started to pull ahead. Their deck will naturally pull ahead. Do they have a Kaito? They do. And I think we're done here. Well, I'm going to chill because I can end step and maybe get a Kaito of my own. I'm not going to completely concede, but like we're feeling very unfavored here. They can just replay that and we would have to draw Bowmaster into Kaito. We're going to need several draws. They plus. They're going to replay their... Yep. Okay. In the end step, I will play out my Borrower. I do have Hydroblast, but they know I have Hydroblast, so there's no element of surprise here. Force is not what we're looking for. I'm going to concede. Okay. Now we're going into game 3. I don't think Daze belongs. I still don't. I'm just not sold on Daze being good in the matchup. I think we just have to accept it's a bad matchup. I do think I want to bring in another Spellbomb. It's quite good. Maybe take out one of our forces on the play. Because it's going to be... Yeah, forces actually... It feels really bad. But I think if you draw your entire deck with Tommy and you don't have a lot of forces, you can still lose. That may not be true in this matchup, but is often true. Yeah, we could cut this and just bring in the other now Spellbomb. It buffs the Goyf. It does a lot. Like they do use their graveyard. All right, and they were asking why we play Marsh Flats, Verdant Catacombs. Those are just to get the swamp if you absolutely need to. This hand is really strong. I think we just open Nethergoyf. I'm going to go get an Underground Sea. I'm going to Nethergoyf. And then we can just cantrip through the now Spellbomb to make the Nethergoyf bigger. They bolt Nethergoyf. Nethergoyf comes back mid-game. I'm not going to play on basics. There's no reason to. All right, we're going to try to tempo them. That's what our deck does. Another Kaito. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think it's correct to go ahead and play out the now Spellbomb. And then we attack. And then if they go to combat damage, if they're not going to block, I don't want them to bolt, but I do want to do the damage. Just cantrip through this. It'll be good later, but it is worth it for the damage, but they could just bolt now. We did tap out of Hydroblast. I think Hydroblast is more for protecting our blue spells from their Pyroblast than it is about stopping any particular card they're using here. They did take the damage, so they're going to get a Surveil trigger. All right. They kept... Just need to keep this alive long enough to be able to get our... and if they find a bolt, it's pretty scary. But they may not bolt because we don't have instant, and they may know that we can like Daze. We don't actually have... Okay. If they have a bolt, we are cooked here, unfortunately, for the Nethergoyf. They could also have a Fatal Push. They may be cantripping again. We'll see. They may Thoughtseize us. A Ponder. That's great. That's a huge relief. Again, I just want this on the table. If I draw another land, I want to be able to Kaito and start pulling ahead. Kaito can be pyroblasted. So yeah, the best draw on our deck is definitely land. Okay, Ponder's not terrible. I'm going to go ahead and Ponder first. Okay, so this is insane. I do want the land next turn. The Bowmasters is great. I think I want to play Tommy this turn. I think it's also fine to just... Yeah, so I'm going to hide the Bowmasters. I'll hide the land. I'm going to play Tommy. We're tapping out a Hydroblast again. If they want to counter this, they can, but it grows the Goyf further. Okay, we're in. I don't believe they play like... Do they play any card that kills all creatures? No, they don't have any sweepers. They don't... Like some decks would play like... whatever it's called... Toxic Deluge. Which is okay. It's not a great card. Look, they're already at 13. So our deck's doing what it's supposed to do here. We have a Bowmasters. We have a land for Kaito, and we have a Bowmasters. If they play the Baleful Strix, I'm just going to Kaito anyway. That's fine. She's 2 for 1. Now our Nether Goyf is bigger. And this is a situation where we would be happy to have Daze in our deck. I do think it makes sense to go ahead and just... I can, after combat damage... I can Kaito. Check this out. I'm going to set a stop in the damage stop. And I should be able to attack, deal the 4 damage, and then bring in the Kaito. Okay, so we're not going to be doing that, unfortunately. All right, that happens. Can technically bring him back at the cost of my entire graveyard. I think that's fine. Because I don't have anything else going on this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Now we can still attack and turn on Kaito. All right. Pretty cool, huh? You got to admit, that's pretty cool. Your 1-drop is like a little mini Uro. Bowmasters. That's going to kill him again. But we did get the Bowmasters out of their hand, and now we're going to be able to Bowmaster their Bowmaster. Again, this is not a favorable matchup, but we're going to do our best here. They're fetching. If they have like a second Bowmaster, that's pretty brutal. Ponder. So we're going to Bowmaster, and we'll keep up the Hydroblast for their bolts. That's the most likely removal they're going to have for Bowmaster. They could have their own Kaito in hand. So I'm not going to wait around. I'm just going to go ahead and do it now. Because they could have a land, and they could, potentially tap out and kill him. Yeah, I'm going to do this. And this shuts off their cantrips, if they have cantrips in their hand that they can't use. If they attack with Orc Army, I will block. And then when they play their second Bowmasters... To remove my Bowmasters, I will have Fatal Push ready. So I'm going to block here. I think they have another Bowmasters. But it's fine. I don't care about this Orc Army that much. Yeah. And I correctly predicted that that was what was going to happen. I mean, you could say, like, you want to keep this around, but... Yeah, that's fine. And we do lose this material. All right, I'm going to wait till their end step to clear, just in case they have something else they want to do here that I need a Hydro... Yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't regret the timing of this, because we did need to clear it. But, it's... Oh, man. They have another Bowmasters. We're cooked. So we're going to be mana efficient here. They could force this. Okay, they don't. So they've got that Orc Army token. Tarn gives us Kaito. We just Kaito stun this. And hope. But this absolutely the best thing we can do right now, in my opinion. I am going to go ahead and get... I can't get a swamp with this land. Okay, I'm just going to Kaito here. And this may seem like a spew, but we're going to tap this down. And then we're going to try to attack with him next turn. They'll probably just Pyro him. But that's a 1-for-1. Yeah, and this is totally fine. They're down to 2 cards. We got another Kaito. We can bring back Nether Goyf. We now have 4 types in our yard. Okay, the brainstorming, trying to find Kaito here. Kaito would be an ordeal, needless to say. This matchup really does come down to Bowmaster supremacy. I think that's how most Bowmaster mirrors... Like, Bowmaster dictates everything. They have another Bowmaster. What is this? This is the Kaito. Yep, they got it first. Okay, so we can't stun Kaito. We can't really do anything to stop Kaito. We could play a Kaito plus him. Yeah, I think they're going to win. And again, like, we're structurally unfavored. I think we're doing our best here. They have access to Pyroblast. We don't. They're taking out our Goyf. That gains them some life. That also removes our Goyf angle. I think there's a very... It's unlikely that they don't just stun this and keep attacking. If we play Kaito, onto an empty board. Like we plus Kaito. They attack for 4. Kaito falls to 1 and he dies to a Bowmaster ping. We plus him. We attack. It still doesn't kill their Kaito. I think what we have to do is we have to play Tamiyo and hope that like they stun this instead of going after it. Or if we have lots of Hydroblasts, of course, if they just try to clear her with a bolt or something like that. But I think it's quite likely that they just ignore her and just keep going to Value Town here. Okay, so they are going to surveil here. Again, I just want to emphasize, we didn't do anything wrong here, I don't think. Leave a comments with timestamps if you saw me spew. Like main phasing, the Bowmaster, I felt that should have happened. I don't think my opponent is going to do something naive, like pile on the additional Bowmaster. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to come in. We're going to Kaito. If they don't push here, I'll attack Kaito. Now we're going to Kaito. If they don't push her. If they do something, like they could shield Rosita, they could do a lot of things here. But if it's a Pyro, then we're ready for that. We already got the trigger, so they already kind of screwed up, like letting us have that trigger if they do have interaction for this. Okay, we'll go to block. Kaito comes in, pulls back. We're going to hit Kaito for 3 here. Then I'm going to plus Kaito so they can't kill my Kaito. This will be interesting. I don't think I've ever faced Kaito like Kaito versus Kaito before. This doesn't happen very often. I'm going to plus. They can plus 2, but again, they're not going to be able to kill Kaito. They're going to need a Pyro or a Bolt in addition to their attack. And we have double Hydro for that. And I want to keep up double Hydro instead of replaying Tommy. I think they have 4 cards in hand. We have to fade them having like double red interaction. They have Cling to Dust. They can draw cards. They can keep getting ahead. They may be wondering why we didn't play out Tommy. Because Tommy could block here. That's fine. They draw a card. And none of this is going to matter if we clear their Kaito and we have a Kaito and they don't. The only interaction they can do to kill Kaito, I think, is red. If they attack for 3, if they plus, they attack for, then they can still kill with Bowmaster. But like we're dead to Bowmaster anyway. There's no way we're ever coming back from a Bowmaster. They're clinging again. Yeah, this card does get a lot of value. And that's one of the things about control decks. Like, this is like a pure control deck, what they're playing. We don't have that luxury. They have 5 cards in hand. Let's see if we can stop 2 pieces of red interaction here. They may just hit or may just attack us and try to do something else to deal with, like try to draw like to a red interaction. This is attacking Kaito. They didn't opt to plus, so I do think they're going to dig and they're going to try to do something. If they have double Bowmasters, that would do it. Okay, so this is the first blast. Okay. Do they have another one? This is the game right here. That is going to be a blast again. That card is extremely powerful. We can't let it resolve. My opponent said, damn, nice. Did we turn the corner? They're surveilling, but they've tapped out a red. So I think we're safe to kill their Kaito. Brainstorm. I don't know what they could find. They could find land plus Pyro, land plus Bolt. They could find a Bowmaster for next turn, but I am going to be plussing again just to try to get Kaito out of harm's range. Wow, this is huge. This is absolutely huge. Had I played Tamiyo there, we would be completely screwed. I'm going to plus here. Yeah, I'm just going to plus, and we're going to attack here. I could have flipped Tommy this turn, but I don't think that's what this is about. We're going to kill Kaito. Goif is tiny. I'm going to put my cards on the table. In the land of milk and honey, you must put them on the table. So I think there's probably bolted or killed. Yeah, we got as much value as we could get out of it. Like, it wasn't going to die to like Bowmasters, you know. All right, and now this is where they start to take over the game. What could we find here that could stop this? Nothing. I'm just going to let it resolve. I'm just going to keep my mana up so we can max the information when we activate the clue, but we are going to activate that clue this turn. I'm just going to try to crash right through this Baleful Strix if I don't find a Bowmaster, but Bowmaster would be the best. Obviously, if Kaito were still alive, I would have 3 loyalty. I'd be able to stun this, which would be nice. We do have 4 types for the purpose of Nethergoyf here. Bowmaster, please! That's fine. It's a 1-for-1. We can't really afford 1-for-1s right now, but it is a 1-for-1. Fatal Push this. Okay, I'll bring him back. What do we get? Brainstorm. All right, let's see if we can find something good off this Brainstorm. Hitting their graveyard is not bad. I think what I want to do is I do want to Brainstorm just to see if I can find a Bowmaster. Double Thoughtseize. Not the greatest here. We don't have a way to shuffle. I think what I'm going to do, so I'll just put this here and I will double Thoughtseize. I'm going to Thoughtseize, then I'll hit their graveyard and then I'll Thoughtseize. Bowmaster. Yes. Scoreboard. All right, now we're going to go ahead and hit their graveyard. And the other card, I'm going to take that too. Since, again, we don't have a way to do anything with this. And we're both hellbent. But I do have Nethergoyf that can come back next turn. And I'm very proud of how I'm playing this. I think I'm playing it really tight. Nethergoyf is not going to answer Baleful Strix. I'm low on time. They have better top decks than I do. They have like another Baleful Strix. They have a lot of good stuff. Hopefully it's just a land. Oh no. Yeah, we're dead. There's no way we're coming back from all this value. I'm going to keep playing until my clock's out. I'm not. We lost. What we could draw something like a... What could we draw here? Yeah. Bowmaster. If we draw Brainstorm, I don't know if I knew about that. I think I did. We Bowmaster, we ping, we chump. They gain tons of life. We're drawing dead cards. Let's see. What can we do here? I think we do need to just draw this next turn. We can't bring up back Nethergoyf here. Yeah, I'm just going to do this. Just going to go ahead and main phase the... What? Maybe they draw a force, but like we have to high roll into them like making a mistake here and like playing a cantrip or something. That would allow us to take up both of the Baleful Strix prior to combat. They don't make that mistake. So I'm just going to go like this. Next turn we'll have the Nethergoyf back. They Brainstorm. So yeah, I mean like they're playing really tight. Like if they'd made that mistake, we could have potentially dug back into it, but I don't think we're going to be able to. We're drawing two really dead cards too. So basically we just have to chump for a few turns with Nethergoyf. Hope they don't have anything. Yeah. We can bring Nethergoyf back maybe twice. 1 minute, 52 seconds on the clock. I don't think we're likely to win. We can't let them connect. It's just too much value. Good game. Yeah, we're just devastated. All right. So congrats to Adam for taking me down, ruining my streak. But it was hard fought, and I hope you're agreeing that these are fun, interactive matches so far. See you in round 4. All right, we're up against a likely Beanstalk opponent. We're on the play. Round 4. This is a great hand against Beanstalk. I'm going to snap keep this. And since we don't know for sure that they're on Beanstalk, but that is what they've been playing, they've also played some Cascade. Actually, the Beanstalk is a while back. Yeah, but this is still a good hand. I'm just going to play this out, and we'll see what they're on. There's no point in pondering when we don't know what we're going to need. Also, being able to turn on Revolt for Fatal Push might be relevant. Not being tapped out for days is relevant. I'm going to Surveil. I'm not going to play like a coward. And I say that there's sometimes being cowardly is the smart thing to do. I don't want to imply that you're a coward just because you're playing on basics. I'm going to go ahead and bin that. We've already got one. Now our opponent knows quite a bit about our deck. They know we're a fair deck. I think we just keep Bowmaster up and Days up. I still don't know enough to ponder. I don't want to be the first person to cast a Bowmaster, but if they're on some combo deck and they're going to aggro Brainstorm or something, then I want to be able to stop it. Yep, they may be on blue-black tempo. They may be on beans. Wasteland. I think it's fine. Oh, Endurance is in the yard? I think I'm going to go ahead and play this. I should have played it with the, just in case they are our Days deck. Now I'm going to feel really dumb. This is fine. Yeah, I should have just freaking cast this with the that would have been so much better. Okay, they scoop. Holy cow. So yeah, I think they're on 4-color beans. Okay, so 4-color beans usually does not include... Okay, so I'm just going to bring in the Spellbombs. We can't take out... No, we're not going to bring in all these. But they do play Murktide for sure. I think 2 is fine. I think we can take out some number of Fatal Pushes. Yeah, I'll take out 2 Fatal Pushes. We still have... because they are going to have their own Bowmasters. I think that's it. Yeah, this is a favorable matchup for us, I believe. And I say that because like whenever I play Bug Beans, I just get destroyed by blue-black Tempo. It's by far the roughest matchup for us, other than like, some crazy rogue, strategy. So I built my deck to destroy combo decks, and we haven't faced any combo decks, but I'm not complaining. I love me some deep magic. This is a mull. Even though it's a double, you can't count on finding colored sources. This is a keep. I think I'm going to keep, I'm going to put back Daze, and I'm just going to get the swamp, and I'm just going to Thoughtseize them repeatedly. And Tommy might come out later, but I think Daze is... We're not going to fetch the Daze. They have Wasteland in their deck. We saw it last game. Yeah, this is the Thoughtseize Express. We're just going to take all their Beanstalks, anything good, all that is good in the world will be stripped of them. Thoughtseize. If they Veil this, I'll force in a heartbeat. They may have brought in a Veil. There's green mana. Is this a Veil? Well, I don't want that to happen. Please do not Daze this because it'll be an absolute blowout and I'll probably just lose. They force. Okay. So, unfortunately, they're going to draw a card. We did get them to force. They can probably just untap. They pitched Rakshas's Bargain. A player after my own heart. But this is probably beans and we're probably cooked. And I love saying that expression. I don't know when that became a popular thing, but I like that. Oh, one lander. Let's find a waste, shall we? I think we just Thoughtseize and make sure they don't have a Wasteland. They have a lot of really powerful stuff. They cost a lot of mana. Okay. The moment they get mana, Life from the Loam becomes a disaster for us. I think we just Thoughtseize them a second time. We take the Murk as well. But I'm not going to put the Loam in their yard for them. Fatal Push. Now I am going to go ahead and I'm just going to hope that they don't rip a waste, because if they rip a waste, they're going to destroy us. Murk. They have Endurance, Loam, and a terrible card to have in their hand. Metamorphosis Fanatic. I think that card sucks, for the record. Like I think Catherine sucks too. I know people will be like maybe tilted that I said that, but I genuinely believe that. I would never register Catherine. Maybe in like a Jeskai, a desperate Jeskai, but I don't think it's good enough for beans either. Okay, so Endurance. Okay, cool. So we're going to get a turn. We could just Thoughtseize them again, but I think it's better to go ahead and play out the Bowmasters here. So they basically do have to cantrip. They could draw a Daze. Yeah, I'm just going to wait. They probably have Bowmaster on the brain here, but I'll just do it in step. And then I can Thoughtseize them again next turn. Draw all the Thoughtseizes, all 4 of them. Is this a currency exchange desk? Because you just got 4x'd. It's a terrible pun. I just thought of that. I think this ends the game. I'm going to Thoughtseize first just to make sure they don't have like a Daze. They scooped pretty aggressively last game. Everything about this is nonsense. Okay. They don't know the half of it. Bye-bye. All right. They're on a long clock. They could draw out of this, but I'm feeling very favored here. So their hand is no longer Beanstalk. It's a bunch of, cards that are kind of embarrassing when you don't have any mana. I guess that pretty much. Yep. That is how you destroy Beanstalk with basically the anti-Beanstalk deck. See you in the final round. All right. Well, the final round is going to maybe be the hardest. Our opponent is likely on a deck that is fair and powerful. Maybe it has Plow in it. I'm going to keep this. I think I'm just going to open Nethergoyf and I'll probably Daze removal on it, and I'm just going to try to tempo them. Next turn I can Ponder and potentially Brainstorm to try to get more stuff in play. We can Undercity Sewers. I think there's a risk. So they were playing like the Pride, whatever it's called, Necadal Pride, or the one that has lifelink from Modern Horizons 3. I think we do have to fetch. I don't want to be locked off blue. This also prevents, like, should they somehow have removal that hits for, like, 1 damage exactly? Like a Lotus Petal into a Bowmasters or something obscene like that. We're ready for that. But, yeah, there's a very good chance that we get wasted here. Okay, they're going to fetch. I would be very happy if they're on, like, Jeskai or something, but, yeah, this has to be stopped. This is too good. This card is just totally cracked against our deck. Now we can ponder and hit for 3. But like they gain life so quickly and it just gets out of hand. So I'm just going to replay this and I'm going to ponder. I am tempted to play the Tommy out, but should I play the Tommy out? I think I do want to play the Tommy out because if I can flip her and I can flip her the subsequent turn, now they're going to have to choose which one they want to go for. Yeah, I think flipping her is the path forward here. We may be able to get like a waste if they get like a bayou or a plateau or something. My kids are having a great time. If you can hear that, they're squealing in delight as they don't play video games because we took the video games away. They were playing too many video games today. It's a Sunday afternoon. This is a sick art planes. Look at that. That is awesome looking. I want to go there. Storm Chaser's talent. Okay. So they're on blue-white kind of like creature aggro. And we do have a blocker for this. Don't remove it. No! They are going for that. All right. So they can hit us for 2 here. We can waste them. And we can ponder. So we'll have a pretty big attacker. Okay, they're opting not to attack. Or yeah, that's fine. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just waste before I do anything. I guess I could have pondered first in case I found a Thoughtseize. Yeah, I'll just ponder here. These are great. Bowmasters is exceptional. Yeah, this is all awesome. I will just take the... I doubt they have Thoughtseize. I think I just take... They're on blue, so they may be actually pondering and stuff. I want to get Tommy out next turn and, maybe just aggro flipper. I don't know if that's correct, though. I think I'll put the ponder on the bottom. Then the Bowmasters, then the Tommy. Because if they do, like, somehow have a Thoughtseize, if they're like Esper. Okay, so we're coming in for a hug. But all these cards are exceptional, so I'm not going to use the Undercity Sewers. I'll just hold it and maybe brainstorm it back if I find a fetch. I could wait a turn on using Tommy as well and just be patient. I think that's probably the correct thing to do is just play out the Underground Sea, play out the Tommy. If they shock that in, I'll be so happy. Yeah, they have a, what's it called? The staff, probably. This town ain't big enough. Okay. So they're going to bounce that and they're going to bounce our voice. That's deal. That's not a big deal for me. So they do technically get another one next turn, but it's not that huge. Like they took 3 damage to do that. We have Bowmaster coming. I think actually I just Bowmaster now just to take this out. Is that correct? They're going to get another one, but it shuts off cantrips. They don't have days up. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. This might not be correct, but it feels so right. So we're going to keep applying pressure here. Next turn we can probably Tommy and Nethergoyf. We're drawing Ponder. They could probably just play that thing out again, and they have a blocker. This is fine. It's already 2 for 1. There's that. I'm just going to keep attacking. I have a Ponder. Okay, they're trying to find a land. So they had to clear the... they had to clear to get that. It's possible that I should have been patient with it, but if they just played like a land that could daze, I would be surprised if daze is not in their deck when they're playing Guide of Souls, because it's just very low to the ground compact package. They could be playing Beanstalk. They did show this town ain't big enough, and why would you play that? You play it because you have Beanstalk in your deck, but maybe it's just not necessary. Okay, this is in. They're down to 10 life. I think the correct play here is, what could we find? We could brainstorm. I'm tempted to brainstorm here because if we can put this away and find another land, we can double spell. And I do want to put this away. And if I find another Bowmaster, I can ping this while pressing my advantage. I think Daze is keepable here. I did find a land. I'm going to put this back. We'll do this. I just want to shuffle this away. I seriously doubt they're playing back to basics or anything. I guess I could be careful. I don't think it matters, but I'll be careful. Irrationally so. I'm going to definitely attack here. They'll probably just trade that off. Okay. Or they don't have to. I think I'm going to go ahead and play both of these out. And I got Daze up. So we don't... Oh, next turn we do actually have Tommy flip if we want it. Staff. Okay, this is what I was telling you about. I I presaged this, but I was wrong about the timing. But it is a very good card here. I think we let it go, and then we just daze their next spell. There's no point in dazing this. So they get a card draw here, but they can't activate it yet. So we do have a window to like potentially find a Bowmaster. Okay, they can waste us here. That's wasted. So we're not going to be able to flip Tommy this turn. There's no point in attacking with prowess unless you think... Okay. Right. Such a sick draw. So sick. I think we do hold it this time. I'm just going to attack all. I am going to go ahead and go for this to kill both their creatures. Because this takes potential blockers off. If they have a cantrip or something, it's too late. They're dead. That survives. They can't use the staff. I get the vibe that they're very dead, but I could be wrong. If they have like Supreme Verdict or something, then I could bring back Nethergoyf, but I wouldn't have a lot of pressure. I can't imagine them playing Supreme Verdict in a deck like this, but it is a token deck. By all means, draw a card. I will ping you. You're dead on board. I have days. Feeling good. I think this is a good matchup for us precisely because we have Bowmasters in our deck. Storm Chaser's Talent's back out. That does put a clue over there. They're not dead on board anymore. Wasteland. You're welcome to waste me from this position. I don't think it's correct. Maybe it is correct. I don't know. But all I know is I'm just coming in with a lot of pressure here. Okay, I drew a land anyway. Let's see. What could we draw here that would be good? Ponder doesn't make any difference to the size of Nethergoyf. I guess they could have a daze of their own. Wasteland would be really good, actually, if we found it. I'm going to try to Ponder, and if they daze, it's fine. We Fatal Push this, and I think they're just dead to combat. I'm going to live in that world. We do have daze. I don't know what they could do here. I guess I could grab the Swamp here because they've already wasted us twice. And that should be game, I believe. They have one card in hand. Yeah, good game. Yeah, we just pressured them. That's what our deck does. So I think the Wastelands are not great. Engineered Explosives is probably worth playing just because it could blow up like lots of things. I don't know if it's worth playing. It's probably better than Fatal Push. Fatal Push is pretty weak here. No, I think we probably, because they have the Life Gain guy, and I don't want to deal with him. We could take out the Forces. We do want to stop that thing that they're doing. We could also take out Kaito just because we're going to be like scrapping pretty low, trying to win the game. They're almost always going to have a blocker because they just generate so many tokens. Also, they have hasty creatures that can take Kaito out. Like, it could be that taking Kaito out is correct. I'm not sure, but that is my instinct. I don't want to take out Daze just because they're wasting us and they're using a lot of mana. I feel like we do want to squeeze. The game gets worse for us the longer it goes. So maybe we just play a very quick game. Yeah, we never would have been able to cast Kaito because we were dazing stuff back to our hand. Engineered Explosives for 0, just clearing several of their tokens seems pretty good. It doesn't affect us negatively other than our clues. All right, our opponent is mulligan. We are mulligan as well. This no-lander. This hand is, I don't think it's good enough. I think we need to apply pressure, and we just don't have anything we're doing here. We're brainstorming, hoping to find a land. I'm going to mull this too. It sucks. Like, this is definitely not how you want the game to go, but we do get an extra card. This hand is also terrible, but we're putting 2 cards back, so that's okay. I'm going to put this back. I think we put this back, and we plan to waste them and disrupt them. They do have basics. They're going to be fetching basics, but yeah. They may have kept a hand that doesn't have basics. Nope. Sure enough, they've got like the best card against us. Okay, we're going to have to... We can engineer explosives for 2 later. I'm just going to start by Thoughtseizing. I don't have high hopes of this for this game. I think we're like very much on our back foot here. I also think we kind of have to get... Am I going to play scared? They wasted me twice last game. If they waste me, the game is just over, but the game's probably over anyway. Yeah. So we're going to hope to snipe something good out of their hand and then waste and just disrupt. But they've already got their powerful 1-drop on the table. Okay, so Ocelot Pride is the card. They do not have a waste, which is a huge reassurance. Ocelot Pride just goes crazy. We have to take it. Storm Chaser Talent is a great card. But Wasteland is dead completely in this game, probably. We can always bounce like a token out of play if we need to. We're not going to be able to pressure them very well when we don't have any creatures. Yeah, this comes in. So their hand is 1 plow, 1 unknown. They get an energy. They gain a life. We're going to... Oh, does it not have a haste? I thought it had haste. Okay. Well, it's not nearly as good as I thought it was. Because I thought... Like, I was tinkering with putting this into my Cori-Steel cutter deck, but like it just didn't feel powerful enough. It's kind of like a Delver, but like having to cast spells every turn when you're emptying your hand really quickly early game didn't make it feel like it was a worthwhile inclusion. Okay, that's great for us. So now I think what we do is we just brainstorm, get rid of this Wasteland that doesn't do anything. I will play this out just in case they have a daze. I do want to actually brainstorm here. I don't think Borrower's where we want to be either. Nethergoyf's fine. It's going to get plowed. I put the Engineered Explosives in my deck, but I'm not sure that it's good here. I think Borrower and Wasteland go back. Yeah, and I think I'm probably actually going to just play out this Engineered Explosives. The next turn we can blow it, and then we can drop a Goyf. I'm just going to keep fetching Underground Seas here. That could have been a Surveil, but I think it's worth it to just blow up their board before they get too many creatures out. They don't have a lot of cards in hand. They could draw like a Prismatic Ending. If they force it, I'll be so happy. Okay. So we're not going to take out the token, but we are going to take out the Stormchaser's Talent itself, so they can't this town it back. They could respond with this town, which would be a beating. That triggers prowess. Yeah, I don't know how many this towns they play, but like, can you imagine like they get the card back, they save both of their permanents? I mean, that would just be an absolute beating. I think this definitely a loss. Like I'll just scoop it if they do that because they'll get so much value, but I do think we should go for it. We could also wait. They are tapped out of blue currently. And if they're tapped out of blue and I can get a 2-for-1, I'm going to take it. Especially with this plow chilling in hand. They fetch. I might presume that they fetched away. Oh, Wasteland. Okay, what is this? They have a Prismatic Ending. I knew it. Sucks. Yeah. Yeah, you can tell by the way they tapped that it was Prismatic Ending because it took a minute for them to pay the mana. Yeah, I mean, I could have waited and just played that out next turn. They have not shuffled, so we know the plow is still in the mix somewhere. We're taking 4 damage here. They're 1 land away from reusing this ability too, which is really good. Like I said, the card is not that great, but it is good in this shell. I'm not disputing that. And I will have a video up in the next, few weeks of me playing like a Beanstalk version. This is very good. So the options, I think we just chill. I mean, we could Bowmaster and then they're going to plow and then we drop a Nethergoyf and it's the biggest thing on the board. I think that's fine. I'm going to do it now. I know that they could, but I don't want them to be able to prowess trigger to save their dude. Okay. So I would not be surprised at all if this gets plowed here, but we'll Goyf. We'll probably hardcast our Borrower and we'll just try to beat face. It's going to be an uphill battle for sure, but they're down like very low in resources. And they wasted this, which I think is a mistake. I think they didn't know that we had another land, but they have 1 energy. I kind of want to double block this. They have a plow in hand. This is going to gain them life. No, if I double block, they'll plow. Never mind. It's classic, like any draft player or any standard player knows that you don't double block when your opponent has removal. Okay. So I'm going to go to combat first. That's good. I'll play that out. And I'm just going to hope they plow here. If the plow is not in their hand, we'll know. Because they won't plow. But they should plow this Bowmaster here. I can't imagine it's correct to not do so. Okay, so I don't think they have it in hand. So what I think I do is I just wait. And then I borrow instep. Because I don't want my Nethergoyf to get plowed. I want him... Yeah, I think being able to play with the Borrower is quite good. Best card we can draw now is probably Kaito. They're shuffling. They may be shuffling away the plow. But that would be stunning to me. Because plow is a clean answer to Bowmaster. They bin a land. So once they get 4, they get a sorcery or instant back from their graveyard. Another guide. This triggers the other guide. They both trigger. They don't get the energy. They don't get the 3 energy though. Okay, so we're going to take this. This is a really cool deck, by the way. I love this deck. I want to play it, but it's really expensive to get the cards. But now that I have the creator account, I might get it, but I'm just not convinced it's that great. It's an okay deck for sure. All right. Let's see if they want to plow anything. This is a good opportunity for them to use the card that bounces stuff. I'm not too... Okay, so we're going to be attacking... I'm just going to attack in the air. I want to respect the fact that they still probably have plow. I'm going to get my surveil trigger going here. Okay, they haven't plowed. Maybe they don't have plow and they shuffled away. That would seem stunning to me. I am going to play this out. Because, like, if they don't have the plow, like, what are we doing here? You know? We have lots of things that are plow worthy now. Now they have, like, no mystery as to what I have in my hand, though. Okay, and this is the plow. Yeah, and they held it very adeptly. This is a great game. I'm having fun. Okay, and now they can reuse Storm Chaser's talent to get the plow back. So this is the late game. We've entered the late game, and they can just plow this, and we have, like, literally nothing going on. Yep, level 2. What are they going to get back? I presume it's plow. And if they ever get to the level 6 or level 3, you know, forever hold your peace. The game's over. Okay, they're not attacking, which is smart. So we are going to get one more 3 attack in. This is our turn to find Kaito. Oh, wait, we took Kaito out because we didn't think the game would go this long. And if the game went this long, we'd be dead. So I guess we're dead. Thoughtseize. That's actually pretty good because we can just take that out of their hand and keep hitting them for 3 for like another turn anyway. Yeah, I'll keep it. I'd like to keep my creatures on the table. That is a 2-for-1 on their side of the table, though. Yeah, I'll take the plow. We're just going to keep hitting. They have life gain. They can make these into flying 3/4s, like flip delvers. I have no illusions that we're going to win here, but hopefully they just draw some cantrips that they can't cast and we win. I'll scoop pretty quickly if they do something just to make good use of time. I'm going to F6 through the turn. Speaking of making good use of time, they're almost to 6. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, create a 1/1. Yeah. They are very close to getting that. Yeah, and the fact that these were printed with 2 toughness. Again, fire design. Okay. That is not good. I'm going to hold it. I don't want them to know that I have nothing. 3 more attacks and they're dead. But like the chances of that happening are minuscule. They do have 6 mana. They can now use this ability. They have to use it as a sorcery. They should use it now. I've never seen it used in this way. I'm glad we're getting it on the footage. But they still have to draw an instant or sorcery to get the effect. It doesn't immediately go up. You have to actually cast something. Oh, they can Sanctuary. That's sick. What are they putting? Yep, that's a good thing to put on top. Okay, we need to draw another Thoughtseize stat. Or just Kaito again, so we can win. Kaito would be pretty awesome here. Brainstorm's not bad. I'm going to brainstorm first before I do anything. If I can find another Bowmasters, that'd be great. Or we could find a lot of nothing. I think we're just dead. Oh, wait. No, wasting isn't going to accomplish anything. Yeah, this is terrible. This is atrocious. Wasting is better than not doing anything, though. No, actually, I'm just going to hold the Wasteland. I think we're just dead. Because they plow this, and they get a token, and they can just start beating us down. So we can at least shuffle our deck. But, yeah, that was the worst brainstorm imaginable. And I keep saying, we're just waiting for Kaito. But you can't draw a card you freaking took out of your deck, unfortunately. And I don't think it's correct to have Kaito in against this deck. Okay, so they get a dude. Every card they draw. So I'm stunned that they're playing like Daze and Wasteland and stuff when their deck is so clearly... Yeah, when they get a giant, Flip Delver. It's better than a Flip Delver. It's like a Nadu. Sans the ability. And when I say Sans, I'm aware that it's pronounced San in French. So there are like very few cards we could draw that would be relevant here. I think a Bowmasters would be one of them. Thoughtseize doesn't do anything. I'm going to concede. We're done. Okay. So again, we're trying to tempo the tempo deck. I think this is not an unfavorable matchup. Engineered Explosives would have been good there had they not had Prismatic Ending. Would it be better as Kaito, considering that the game went that long and they're gearing up for the long game? I think it would be. So I'm going to bring Kaito back in. Yep. Murk would have been good there. Yeah, they can only regrow, like they only have one Storm Chaser's talent, but them being able to recur that plow and us having to keep what was otherwise, oh no, come on deck, please don't do this. I really want to get a 4/1. All right, I'll keep this. I'm not excited about this hand, but this is fine. I'm going to put the swamp away and we're going to play on non-basics. Done. I'm just going to play this Underground Sea. I'm going to Nethergoyf. I'm going to hope that they don't have one of their prismatic endings or their plows. And then we can get some damage across. They're mulling to 4. Okay, I said don't do this to me deck, but they are probably saying the same thing to themselves. Probably much worse over there. 3 cards. What kind of draws are they getting that they're mulling that deep? That is very unlucky. Okay, we might actually have a chance here because what do they keep? They probably keep value cards that generate value like Storm Chaser's talent, like the Guide of Souls. They could go like Plains turn 1, Guide of Souls turn 2, Pride, whatever it's called. Yeah, Nakatl Pride, or I can't remember the name of that card. Ocelot Pride, yes. If they had that, then that's quite good. And we could still lose to a Multa 3. That would be humiliating, but it could absolutely happen. And don't feel humiliated if you lose to an opponent who mulled to 3. You know, it sucks, but just don't beat yourself up about it. It happens to me more often than I care to admit. All right. Wow. That is such a bad keep. Like, I can only imagine what happened over there. Thoughtseize them. That just seems rude. I love it. Okay, plow. So we're going to take the plow. We'll leave him with the ponder. And I guess I can ponder as well. I might as well. Now I know that they're not doing anything too powerful over there. Okay, we take the days. It doesn't change anything. I think this is I don't think we keep this. I mean, we could Thoughtseize their last card while we're beating them down. But like, there's a decent chance they're going to be able to cast it. It'll probably be a 1-drop. So what they're going to do is they're going to ponder. Yeah, maybe it is correct to keep this, like Days Sandwich here. It's actually a Thoughtseize sandwich, so the Days is the bread. Next turn we can ponder and we can get rid of the Days if we don't need it. But like if they have a card stranded in their hand, we can Thoughtseize it. So we can presume they're going to play at the land that we already saw. They did. There's the ponder. I'm just interested in stopping a plow on my Nethergoyf. And then I think we can just ride Nethergoyf to victory here. I will be kind of perturbed if they don't have any cards in their hand. And we have a Thoughtseize. They may act aggressively just be looking for land at this point because they know how weak they are to Wasteland. Okay, we're going to get to Thoughtseize them, which is great. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start by Thoughtseizing them. And then if they do something with this, then I can Daze. Like if they have a plow. They're fetching. And then we can even play this land as the land for turn. Okay, it looks like they did find a plow. So this buffs our dude. Just bring that right back. Game's probably over. They have one unknown in hand. Let's see if it's a land. It's a sink into super. Okay, a land that we can take. That's just freaking brutal. I think what I do here is I go ahead and ponder here. They're hellbent. We're just going to see if we can find. I don't really want these cards. What am I looking for? More pressure? Another Nethergoyf? A Bowmaster? Okay, sure. Sure, no problem. I'll take that. All right. Yeah. Gosh, they could still climb back in. Like there are draws. Like a plow does a lot here. They just got extremely unlucky. And we got extremely lucky, frankly. Like we had to mull. We kept it. We did a discipline mull. And yeah. All right. We're just going to start jamming these every turn. I think I'll actually jam it in combat in case they stop it somehow. Then I can still get the effect. All right. I'll get the life or the, yeah, we'll do it there. So now cantrips are a bad draw. They're going to need lots of removal to tread water. I've been on my opponent's side of the table many times against Blue-Black Tempo. Is what Blue-Black Tempo does. We'll just keep playing out our Bowmasters until they are dead, basically. We don't want to draw any land. We don't want to draw anything, really. Days. Well, I'm not going to complain about the days here. Just go ahead and do this again. Okay, we'll hit them. If they want a prismatic end, one of these, it's going to get dazed. They may have a plow, though. All right, my opponent said that they had only one landers and wasteland hands. They had a Caracas and then 3 times Wasteland. That's really unfortunate. That's rough. I don't know how many how many blue sources they play, but and again, they may have built their deck perfectly fine and just had bad luck anyway. That certainly happens. But I will say that GG's. So we got the 4-1. I will say that I strongly recommend you play 19 lands in your tempo deck. I think Delver can get away with it because it's literally paying 1 mana for all its threats. Okay. Yeah, that was the 4-1. Losing only to, as I said, James Kisao's brightest acolyte. He definitely did James Kisao proud. I one day will have James Kisao on the channel. I'm a huge fan of his, but he plays the crazy, Grixis deck that I think is definitely underpowered, but it's very good against what we're doing because it's basically what we're doing but bigger. I don't know that it's as good against combo as what we're doing. I don't know it's as good against beans as what we're doing, but it does do very well against tempo specifically, and it's probably medium against combo. Okay, so let's take a look at the deck again. Did the 4x Thoughtseize come up? I got to say that silly joke about the money exchange, the currency converter. Yeah, the 4x Thoughtseize did come up, and it felt great. I think the Thoughtseize, even in the fair matchups, was pretty relevant. I love just having a powerful Nethergoyf. If you're looking to make a change to improve your combo matchup, just consider swapping one of your Mercs for a Thoughtseize. It buffs your Goyf. It does a lot of stuff. Our blue count is still really high. The engineered explosives didn't really come up because we didn't play a single combo matchup. It was all fair. That felt great. So the Harbingers never came up. The Force Negations. Really, the only thing in our graveyard that we brought in were now Spellbombs. And those continue to be exceptional just because they buff the Goyf and you cancel through them. And occasionally they just clear your opponent's card and they feel great. So 100% we'll play this deck again. I think that if you just want a deck that does not suck, that is pretty much good against everything except for, fair non-blue decks, which we won those matchups too. I would strongly recommend this deck. I think this is the best deck in the format right now. And I'm not saying this exact version of it, but Kaito is strong. Whether Kaito is 2 of in a deck that's as low to the ground as this, I'm not sure, because we are playing a lot of very early threats and the game often ends before we have 3 lands out, but I like having him in there just in case the game goes along. And I think the game that I sideboarded him out, I think I did so in error. Basically from the 4th or 5th turn on, we were just praying to draw Kaito and Kaito wasn't even in our deck because I'd taken him out. So I would recommend just keeping him in all the time. He's a blue card that pitches a Force. If Grief were in the format, he'd pitch a Grief. We can blame Entomb for, killing Grief. I know a lot of people complain about Grief, but Grief really wasn't that bad outside of a blue-black Reanimator shell, in my humble opinion. That is not an opinion. That's not a hill I will die on, but that is my opinion. I enjoyed playing Grief, and I didn't think he was overpowered until people figured out the blue-black Reanimator shell. And, just like Psychic Frog, was Psychic Frog overpowered? Yes, but was it ban-worthy? I would argue if it wasn't the ability to discard cards to get, targets into your graveyard for reanimation, that card could have stayed legal. People might be complaining, but, Moonstompy was invalidated by this thing. Who cares? Screw Moonstompy. I don't like playing against Moonstompy. And I liked having a card that I could resolve that just wins against it. But Kaito is pretty good against Moonstompy. One thing I'll say, Kaito is devastating against land strategies. And that's one reason to have him in here, because if you're playing against some sort of strategy that revolves around lands and you get Kaito into play, he just goes to town. They can't really interact with him in any meaningful way. Not as good against red decks, but I still don't think you board him out against Delver because he comes in, he stuns the Merc, and he helps you close the game. I have nothing else to say about this deck. This is definitely my favorite deck. Whenever I'm feeling down, I played, so I'll give you story time. I played a lot. I got my MTGO account. You may notice I'm not using it, my creator account. And the reason I'm not using it is I used all my play points already. They gave me a bunch of play points and I burned through them really quick playing OmniShow. And I will just tell you, I'm not an OmniShow player. There is an OmniShow video where I played it and it's maybe a fun video to watch, but I can't live that life. That is just not me. And I don't think I have the heart in me to I know I'll be a better tempo player if I just play as these combo decks and tough it out. But like, it just feels so bad to just sit there with like a bunch of omnisciences in your hand and no show and tell. I'm like with freaking Nadu, at least, you're still doing stuff. You're still playing the Nadu and he's still attacking and maybe getting a 2-for-1. But AB combo where you're literally just waiting around for a card or you're desperately digging for like one card, Omniscience. And I don't think Sneak Attack will be any better because Sneak Attack, you have to play a whole bunch of threats. Omnitell, you can just play 2 Emeralds and that's it. And that can win. And it does feel really powerful when it works, but when it does not work, you just feel so bad. Like the games are just not fun. And I suspect that's how a lot of combo players are. But if you look at like our games, like there was no point at which hope was completely lost until like they had the opposing Kaito or something like that, right? Like we were in those games until the end. And like, I will stand by that play style. I genuinely like long interactive games where it's a kind of like a tug and war back and forth. And it's not just like somebody attaching a tractor and like just pulling the other guy over, So I'll leave it there. I hope you're enjoying the leagues. I'm very proud of this one. I think I played really tight, but leave comments with timestamps as always. I can always play better. And I am hoping to eventually be excellent. And I hope you will too. Please be excellent to each other and party on.